You want to hear something cool? Back in 1998 was the last time that you could buy a rear-wheel drive Volvo. Yup, that's it. 1998 was the last time you could, but now for 2024, the all-new Volvo C40 is available in rear-wheel drive. And the reason being is because Volvo feels that the advantage of having a heavy engine driving the front wheels makes no sense when the battery pack is underneath. You get better handling when it is rear-wheel drive. It feels more in control. It's like getting pushed, because that's what the reality is, versus getting pulled. That makes sense to me. However, if you did want an all-wheel drive or twin motor version, you can totally get it. It is more rear-wheel drive bias. It makes a little bit more power, has a little bit larger battery pack, but it is available. But the news is that it's rear-wheel drive. So if you want a rear-wheel drive electric vehicle, voila, feast your eyes on the Volvo C40. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the front, the side, the back. We're going to jump inside and show you how interesting the interior is, as well as maybe get some 0 to 60 times. In the 2024 Volvo C40 rear-wheel drive single motor, not the twin motor, this makes a combined power of 248 horsepower and gives you 297 miles worth of range out of a 66 kilowatt hour battery. Now if you opt for the twin motor, you get 402 horsepower and just under 500 pound-feet worth of torque. That does about 40 miles less and has a larger battery of about 78 kilowatt that's usable. Anyways, all that aside, foot on the ground, there's no drive modes, and let's see if we can get this thing to 60 and go. Okay. 6.44 to 60. So it's in the 6-second range, which is kind of to be expected out of a economical vehicle to get to 297 miles worth of range. That's about 400 or so 50 kilometers in terms of range. Now it depends how you drive. If you have a heavy foot, you're definitely not getting that. If it is super cold out like it is now, you're definitely not getting that. It's showing me about 370 kilometers worth of range at about 95% battery life. So somewhere around 250 or so miles is what you can probably expect out of this. So let me give you some information about the Volvo lineup here. This is a C40, so it's all electric. But if you want a gas version of this, you can get it, except you can't get it with this cool coupe design or sportback or hatchback, whatever you'd like to call it. If you want that, you have to buy the XC40, which is the SUV version. So the SUV version, you can get gasolina and you can get electrification. But if you want gas in this coupe style, you can't get it. Front of the Volvo C40 in cloud blue. Look how high this hood is. It's stout and upright. Now, there is no front grille. There's a small little slit of inlet for air to flow through, but here is where you have your Volvo iron front emblem and then a camera hidden right into it. Now, the reason it's like this is because this is all electric. There's no gasoline or combustion engine underneath it, and that's why they're showing you this plastic as opposed to any other large big grille like most other vehicles. Now you have this front headlight, and see how it tapers. It's very skinny here and it really widens out. You do have the Thor design DRLs that turn into amber when you're indicating. You have 4 individual LEDs right above that and a projector housing underneath the Thor design. You do have Parktronics on left and right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if you want to know where your fog lights are, where they're right here. Now, because this is electric, you do have a frunk, which is a front trunk. They always give you a little bit of storage. Not all electric vehicles, but this one does. The one funny thing about Volvo is they open up really, really high, the hood that is, but there is storage underneath here in this frunk. Not a ton, but enough to store your cable on one side and a little bit of fluff on the other, maybe some cleaning materials to clean your Volvo in cloud blue. Now say you want to buy one of these Volvos, how's the trim levels broken down? Well, there's three models. The first one is the Core at a starting price of $55,300. Then you have the Plus at $56,850, and then the top dog, the Ultimate, at $60,100. So let's talk about the side here. Take a look at these wheels. They are really, really nice. For an electric vehicle, these are probably one of the nicest wheels I've seen out there. Don't you think? If you agree, let me know in the comments below. You do have this sort of rough plastic all the way around. They're giving it some durability, as you can see down the side of it, including some of these dirt marks that Ian forgot to clean. Come take a look. Now, as I walk past these 19-inch wheels, I'd like to inform you that Volvo now makes their own electric motors. Yep, they don't just buy it off the shelf. That's what most manufacturers are doing nowadays. They're just buying electric motors off the shelf. They're buying batteries off the shelf and putting it in their vehicles. That's why for the first time ever, you're seeing so many new entrants into the car business, because all they have to create is just a shell and a bit of an interior. Everything else they can just buy. They don't have to make their own engines anymore. They don't have to make transmissions, nothing. It's simply just buy, and plug and play. Now, Volvo says with this new design of being rear-wheel drive, it actually handles better than a gasoline front-wheel drive. Pretty interesting to note. The other thing to note is that on this car, I like how all the black is placed up here. You have black mirrors, they're very big by the way. You have a little strip of LEDs for the indicators, and then you have black trim on the bottom. Of course, this is pretty straightforward, and black trim right up here. It's interesting though how they don't have black trim on the top. Anyways, just my opinion. And look at this height. Look how high this is. And that is mainly because people want to buy this and get in and out very easy. They don't want to sit low, and that's why you have the ride height like this. Anyways, moving down here, you do have some mud flaps underneath there. Not that it's off-roady, but you still have that capability. Moving to the back is where all the action happens. This is the best aesthetic part about the Volvo C40, the rear. You have a glass black panel, then you have this plastic panel that has this shark fin integrated into it. Then you have this rear spoiler that has a double sort of, I don't even know what you call this, flare. It kind of reminds me of an Aventador. I know, it's not crazy, but whatever. Then you have this big black glass behind it, and then you have the second spoiler. This is clean, I love it. Just very wide, very high, easy entry to put stuff into the trunk. However, Volvo, V-O-L-V-O, and above it, right between the two pieces, you've got a translucent or transparent third brake light. Now check out this animation on this tail light. Look at that. Whoosh. All the way up, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, what appear to be lane lines. And moving down from there, you have your C40 emblems. You've got your recharge badge right there. And then here is where your trunk lid popper is. This is powered. Look at this height. Look how high this is. This is amazing. I grab it and I put it in here. This is perfect. As opposed to having a lip, this is very SUV-like, and I love it. Let me tell you how high this is off the ground. I think this is important for people to know. It's 31 inches. Okay, I didn't say close, but I guess you can close. Let me open you back up again. Come on, open sesame. How much depth do we have? Well, I have 35 inches. And as far as width goes, what do we got? We have 43 inches. Now I do have some pockets on the side here, left and right. When I lift this up, I do have a little handle here that I can lift up and expose more storage. Lots over there. Now let's lift up. Let's lift this up underneath. What do I have underneath here? Do I have anything more? Nope. Just this is more like a tray. You never know. Sometimes you lift it up, you might see something interesting, like maybe more storage, or maybe a toolkit, or an emergency kit, or maybe a first aid kit. Oh, look what we found. A first aid kit. What do you know? Front seat of the Volvo C40. This is the first Volvo that is completely leather-free. They have a soft wool blend on these seats, very soft on my hands. I love it. I love cloth seats. We have leather in everything nowadays, so when you have something different, it's nice to see. This also has a very unique trim. When you look at this door panel and the dash, it's like a topography style design. It's backlit. It's like plastic, but it doesn't appear like that whatsoever. It's really, really cool and funky. Now, there's another piece here. This sunroof is not your conventional sunroof. It's one big glass panel. And it's actually pretty, like, dark, I guess, if that's the right word, or tinted, I should say, is probably the better word to use. It's not bright in here at all when you're outside with bright sun. You get the light from all this other glass, but not the sunroof, which I do appreciate, because you don't want to be burning your head or burning your neck when you're sitting driving your car. Now, this seat is really good in terms of form and shape. The only odd part about it is this headrest. It sticks out a little bit too much that it could sort of be slightly irritating depending on how your posture sits. Mine, I sit fairly forward, so I don't really feel it. But for some people that sit back like this, that might be a little bit irritating. But again, something that you have to check out when you get there. Now, the other piece I do like about this is when I was driving it around, it has very good heated steering wheel. There's 3 increments of heated steering wheel, or maybe it's 2. Let me quickly double check. Yep, it's 3 increments and 3 increments of seat. Also, look at this headliner. It's also like a soft wool blend. It's not that hard cardboard-like style. It's soft. Interesting. Being very environmentally friendly. So if we start with the door panel here, you have 2 memory seat positions. You have 4 windows that are all automatic. I talked about this backlit trim already. You have 15 speakers with this Harman Kardon sound system and a 600-watt amplifier. There is no heads-up display in this version. You do have a nice big driver's display that's very minimal, very simple. And same with this screen. It is all Google-based, and it is a plug-in for Apple CarPlay. It is not wireless. I've gone pretty extensively on these screens on any other Volvo video you watch from us. So if you haven't done so, please go ahead and do it. Of course, you do have automatic lights, pretty straightforward stuff at this price point. The one big thing here that you will see when you watch this video is there's no start and stop button. You actually just get in the car, and sometimes this key doesn't work very well, but you get in this car, and once it recognizes the key, you simply jump in and just put it in drive. You can force start it on by pressing the P button to kind of start it, but there's no start and stop button whatsoever in this vehicle. It's just very, very plain. The only real buttons you have are, of course, your wiper stalk, your lights, and the steering wheel, and then your volume button. Everything else is pretty much just done by this screen and this home button underneath this screen. Everything else very, very simple. When talking about the center console, you have 2 USB-Cs, a 12 volt that you can plug something in at a max 120 watts, and then you have a wireless charger right in the center. But on the left and right hand side of that wireless charger, you can put a little bit of stuff like coins or a little bit of treats. Then you have 2 decent sized cup holders surrounded by piano black trim, a little ashtray because apparently people still smoke, and then you have this shifter where you can put your finger in. It's a nice small one. I do like the material surrounding it. It's like a rubberized texture, nice to touch on my fingers. That's reverse, neutral, and drive, and then of course a hard button that's park that you simply just push down. Moving down from there, I do have this glove box that has sort of a drop-in. It's more like a garbage disposal flap. You take your stuff, you just drop simply in here, and it stays in this little compartment, and then you can pull it out. So here we go, garbage can C40. If you don't want the garbage can, you can simply put it out, and then you have more storage space. If your battery does die on your key, well, you take the key and you place it right there, and the car will recognize the key even if the battery is dead, and then you can start it. When I say start it, I mean put it in gear and it'll take off. Then you have a little bit more storage behind there, and that is it. And of course, if you've never owned a Volvo before or sat inside a Volvo, they always have the Swedish flag right here on the passenger seat. They've kind of got rid of the driver's one. We used to see them back in the day, but for whatever reason, I haven't seen them in a really long time, just on the passenger seat. If you own a Volvo and you have the flag on the driver's seat, let us know in the comments below. Back seat of the C40. Now there's something to take note here. This door is very large. I would expect this door to be a lot smaller in this sort of like compact segment, but it's a lot bigger than what compact would seem to be. Now putting these seats down, very easy. There's a small tiny toggle or latch right here. I touch it and then this folds down. The headrest folds down automatically and it's very light. Now the seat does have some weight. So right here, there is a little bit of weight behind it, but to lift it back up, it's great. Now, these seats don't recline anymore. It's fixed to this position. It appears to be very 90 degrees, but I will jump in and feel it out. Okay, solid door. This is my seating position. It does feel a little bit more 90 degrees than I would like. I would like it to tilt a little bit more, but hey, They're trying to get room in all the spots. Very good armrest. This door does taper out, the door panel does taper out to give me extra support on my elbow. So that is good. There's a ton of carpet material used in here, or maybe it's wool, but it's very soft to touch and it's everywhere. They've sort of replaced it with any sort of plastic, and it gives it that premium feel, because a lot of vehicles have plastic everywhere, or maybe wood, but obviously this is a Volvo. We're not using wood at this type of class of car. There is a button to lock the doors when I'm back here, as well as, of course, my windows. There's a lot of openness back here. Even though this is a coupe and it should feel sort of claustrophobic in the back, this has a very high roof line. I'm 5'9" and I still have lots of room. So someone that's 6'2" could fit in here without hitting their head on the ceiling. Now, it does have 2 USB-Cs right here, 2 vents for air, and then heated seats for the left and right seat. Now again, these seats had the soft wool blend like the front. And how about cup holders? When I pull this down, well, they are right here. They are widthwise, not lengthwise. And again, more of this carpeted material. So yeah, lots of carpeted material back here, but feels good. Now you might want to know why this piece is right here. Why is this here? This is electric. This should not be here. Well, this vehicle was originally built and designed as a combustion engine. So you have a drive shaft that goes to the back. And because this is rear-wheel drive, it kind of makes sense, because people could say, hey, well, it's rear-wheel drive, it should have a shaft here. But it's because this was built as a gas car first and then made electric, as opposed to the other way around, or just purely electric. Now this Volvo is very easy to drive. I sit in a nice seating position, nice and high. The windows are a little bit squished because this is a coupe. Really good heated steering wheel. This heated steering wheel is like, whew, kind of, I would say burns your hands, but it definitely warms up. You've got 3 increments, so I like that piece. In the front, there is great visibility. It's just the back is a little bit tight. The one thing you're definitely getting is the quality of drive. Nothing in here rattles whatsoever. It feels solid. Like there's no argument against that. Now the big push for 2024 is that this is available with the smaller battery in rear-wheel drive, and you can get all the fluff in here. So that is nice at a more affordable price point. So let's try this one pedal driving. If you don't know what one pedal driving is, it's when I let go of the accelerator, the vehicle automatically slows down and regens or puts some power back into the battery pack by using the reverse forces of slowing down. Now, this vehicle's in front of me. I'm just sort of coasting here. Still on the gas. You know, people love to hold their brakes for no reason. So just sort of, yeah, just drive. No brakes. Just straight, no brakes. Just, there we go. Let's do a stop. So that's one pedal drive, pretty straightforward. So if you guys like this review on this 2024 Volvo C40, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do so. We offer POVs, we offer full reviews, and if you jump on some of our short form content, we do offer ASMRs that are killing it. So we'll catch you on the next one.